It's the 1st of September and I'm Tom Glass and welcome to The Roast. Well, it's the first day of spring and the government has decided to do a little bit of spring cleaning. You know, get rid of all the junk that's cluttering up the office, like the Renewable Energy Target. Yep, don't need you anymore. That feels better. Oh God, what have I done? Put it in the recycling bin. Nope, it is regular trash for you. Don't want that coming back. You know, I feel like I could have handled that better. Actually, here's an idea. Whoa! Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, these fumes will help reverse the good that the Renewable Energy Target did. Here is Mark Humphries with the headlines.
Julia Gillard, the former Prime Minister who doesn't have to deal with our shit anymore, has handpicked Ray Martin for her first television interview since leaving office. With Ray Martin interviewing her, it's expected to be one of the top-rating political interviews of the 90s. There's no word yet who Tony Abbott would choose to interview him, but he has been seen cozying up to this hard-hitting Nine journalist. The interview is to promote her upcoming memoir and follows the release of memoirs by Gillard's treasurer, Gillard's foreign minister, and Gillard's climate change minister, meaning Gillard's book now completes the epic series A Song of Knives and Firing. Meanwhile, at Channel 7, former Prime Minister John Howard will be interviewed by the Australian's Janet Albrechtsen. Albrechtsen has previously described Howard as the finest Prime Minister Australia has had. So expect such hard-hitting questions as, can you sign this? And I love you. Google's prototype drone delivery system has successfully been tested in Queensland. As for rival company Bing, we have footage of their prototype test. Google's Project Wing, seen here taking a shit, made its first delivery to a farmer who ordered dog food and chocolate. In other words, he ordered dog food and dog poison. The cost of a pack of cigarettes has gone up by $1 today. It now brings the total cost for one pack to something like $10,000. Qantas, the airline that strands singing children in remote locations around the world, has posted a record loss of $2.8 billion. If you ask me, I think we should kick them off Team Australia. The company's troubles have been attributed to write-downs, rising fuel costs, and suspicions about the airworthiness of a flying kangaroo. Independent Senator Nick Xenophon says CEO Alan Joyce should step down because since he's taken over Qantas, the share price has fallen 40%. But Nick would say that he's more of a car man. And finally, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have wed in France. It was reportedly a small affair with only 30 of their children attending. For The Roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Yeah, Doug Pitt wanted to be there as well, but he was too busy receiving the celebrity treatment elsewhere. To our main story now, and the government's review into the Renewable Energy Target was released on Thursday, which meant Thursday was both late night shopping day as well as read 132-page dense government review of a key environmental policy day. Now, the RET was first introduced by the Howard government, then ramped up by Labor, and aims to have 20% of Australia's power generated by renewable energy by 2020. And that sounds ambitious until you realise it means 80% of our power will still be generated by burning ancient dinosaur corpses. Now, the target works by forcing the guys who send you your outrageous electricity bill to buy renewable energy certificates from suppliers of renewable energy. And who'd have thunk it, it turns out it's been a success.
In its current form, it would reduce emissions by an additional 299 million tonnes of carbon dioxide by 2030, the equivalent of taking around 100,000 cars off the road.
Or one disco Humvee. But either way, guys, we did it! The RET kickstarted $20 billion of investment and put us on track to have 28% of our energy from renewables by 2020. For more, we'll turn to Alex Lee. Alex, given the scheme's success, what did the review recommend? For Alex. Alex, are you saying they don't...
They don't like it, Tom.
Right.
The government does support a renewable energy target, just not a renewable energy reality. The success of clean energy has reduced profits for existing generators. And if there's one thing worse than catastrophic climate change, it's energy retailers not making enough scratch.
Okay, is that why existing generators don't like having to subsidise renewables?
Yes, they have to pay to make themselves obsolete. It's very confronting. I mean, you wouldn't want to subsidise the prototype hosting robot that we're working on out back.
I hate that thing. But didn't the review also suggest a compromise option where half of the future growth in overall electricity demand comes from renewable energy?
That's true, Tom, but that's half of any increase in energy demand, not half of what we're actually using, and electricity demand is shrinking, not growing. So you can have more renewable power, but only if you also use more coal. So if they accept that recommendation, you'd better start using a shitload of electricity if you want any of it to come from renewables.
Okay, so if I want to save the RET, you're saying I should leave the fridge door open, dry myself with a hairdryer and warm up all of my clothes in the dryer before I wash them so they're not too chilly in the washing machine?
Sure, call it Coal Hour. It's like Earth Hour, but you celebrate it 24 times a day.
Of course, if you don't believe in climate change, you aren't left out of this report either, because the review was headed up by Dick Warburton, pictured here fighting back his tears after his hands were stabbed with a pen, who is himself an avowed climate skeptic. Although, he doesn't like that label.
I'd rather say, look, well-known South Sydney Swans football player, Dick Warburton. That'd suit me a lot better.
Oh, yeah. There is no bigger fan of the South Sydney Swans than Dick Warburton. Nor is there a team called the South Sydney Swans, but Dick Warburton doesn't mind that. He is an expert in things that don't exist, be it imaginary football teams or climate change. But if you're looking for something that exists that he is actually an expert in, look no further than that lesser-known sub-branch of environmental sciences, business.
Dick Warburton is a very, very respected businessman. He approached this in a business-like fashion. His committee who sat down with him, and it isn't just Dick, it is the committee, they are highly regarded people in terms of business and the energy sector and also, of course, economics.
So while you might question whether a businessman is the right person to review an environmental policy, he is a very, very respected businessman. In fact, we should give him some of those medical research dollars while we're at it. And besides the environment, our grandchildren's future and the rest of the world that doesn't have a say in Australia's decision, the thing hardest hit by the changes in energy is business. You know, if you go with renewables, energy retailers suffer. But if you go with coal and cut the RET...
The recommendations contained in the Warburton report put 24,000 clean energy jobs at risk and will freeze the billions of dollars in investment that is already in the pipeline.
So no matter what the decision, someone has to lose their job. So what's a declining industry to do? Well, Jazz Twemlow from the dying industry of investigative journalism has more.
These are the remains of a penny farthing factory. The penny farthing was originally designed by someone who wanted to make a bicycle that looked like half of it was really far away. Eventually, this warped circus transport died out, and the workers began making normal bicycles because we realised that cycling 10 feet off the ground is ridiculous. Ah, the poor, humble typewriter, dead as well. And who cares? Is anyone complaining? Poor typewriter industry, I'm so sorry it died off and now all I have to use is this massively convenient, magic, inkless keyboard. I really miss having to throw away a whole page when I make one mistake. And finally, coal, which we began using around 3500 BC, which means that for 5 millennia, the main idea we've stuck to when it comes to energy is find rock, burn rock. But why go out of our way to stifle a better idea? Solar power looks awesome, it has the added advantage that you don't have to dig underneath a mountain to find sunshine, and it doesn't get more expensive the more people use it. Energy production is the only aspect of our lives we're fighting to keep outdated, despite it looking more and more ridiculous. Do you have any idea how weird it is to power an iPad with a fossil? Coal burning is the penny farthing of energy generation, and we're all sitting on top of it looking like a massive twat. For The Roast, I'm Jazz Twemlow.
And in case you're worried that we're all massively anti-coal here, we're not. We're just very pro the thing that's obviously better than coal. You know, coal was great until it got surpassed by a new energy, just like how freezing to death was great until coal came along. And when the day comes that someone thinks up something even better than solar power, say the ability to power things with the fear of change, we will shit all over the crappy, out-of-date solar power thing as well. We'll be right back.
Have you ever thought how strange it is that we burn coal? Did you know that stuff is basically dead dinosaur plants that have been squished for millions of years until they turn into flammable black rock? How good would it be if we just left it in the ground and waited until it became diamonds? We'd be so rich. At The Roast TV or hashtag RoastTV.
So this year, the Prime Minister has axed the carbon tax, tried to get World Heritage Tasmanian Forest delisted, and approved the dumping of dredge spoil in the Great Barrier Reef, begging the question, Does Tony Abbott hate the environment? And what does he have against renewable energy?
Tom, I've long had my suspicions.
Oh, yeah?
And as such, I've drawn an animation that explains where his deep, almost primal hatred of renewable energy comes from.
I'll call the lawyers.
Let's look. All you need is trees. Mom? What's that noise? Mom, what's happening? Who's that next to you? Solar panel? Hey, how's it going there, sport? But solar panel, you're... I'm your new daddy. Get used to it. Prime Minister? Prime Minister, what are we going to do with all these solar panels? Destroy them all! No solar panel's going to be my daddy. The end.
You really think that's what happened?
It is literally the only logical reason why he would destroy a renewable energy policy that's working so well.
Or he could just believe that business interests come before an environmentally progressive policy.
Nah, it's definitely solar stepdaddy.
Okay, good night.
Shall I turn off the light?
Oh, no.
Oh, right, because of coal hour?
No, I'm just afraid of the dark.
See ya!
No! Oh, God, Nick! Oh, God, he's here too.